Welcome to Deathmatch Nations Cup, Team Iceland versus Team Arabia. We've got for the Arabians Captain Man playing as the human flank, so starting aggressive. Then this once more have a Georgian pocket. Okay, full Monaspa attempt. That's pretty wild, wasting a Georgians for that. Leo Montero Parker playing as the Teal Maya. Simo Maya Mojito. And we've got Twiigz as the Koreans against the Maya. Oh boy, that can be tough. Maybe the Maya can rush though. And then Hagbardur as the Gujara pocket. And in the red, we've got Klemens with the Japanese. So decent save to defend the humans. Let's see the rush by Man though. Man probably a very experienced teamer. Maybe the most experienced here in the room. Can he get the rush down? Will kill some villagers for sure. These two there. And Klemens might be in trouble, I think, against Iceland. Steplancer is a very good unit. We were very successful with pool 3 and Steplancer rushes against them as well. They don't have that much experience in the start. At least Gujara pocket pretty useful here. Spearman! Oh lord, we saw so many skirmishes in Spain versus Mexico. Because Teddy wasn't there to tell them otherwise, I suppose. And we have only 2, but we did make a barracks with the Gujaras. That's already like a thing. But Hagbardur is sending the camels. Hagbardur is therefore saving his higher RM elo, a lot higher RM elo flank here. Up top, the Maya. We're trying to rush a bit with the Eagles. Leo Montero actually got 7 kills onto his pocket there. Twiigz in big trouble against the Maya Eagle Rush. I almost want to watch that back. Because killing so many vills with an Eagle Rush is not something we see. Mojito, you might be in for your Maya domination that you've been hoping for here. Well, I guess that Halberdier start doesn't really help against Maya. And that might be a big reason for this rush being so successful. I look more at the human rush, because normally that's going to be the most successful one. Man did kill 5 as well. But yeah, Iceland, probably the underdog team in the tournament. And Arabia is a pretty solid team. Obviously, Pakistan and us turned out to be really good teams. So they had a hard group, but they have experienced DM team here. And Leo Montero with the rush, killing the villagers of Twiigz. Steplancers are back again in the south as well. Camel Riders looking to push back the Steplancers. Steplancers retreating onto the base of men. So Hagbardur doing a good job protecting his flank, but now the Steplancer Wombas of the humans, obviously step husbandry, so they produce really fast, are getting quite overwhelming. And villager number already big difference. The Koreans are only now starting their chicken castle, so very late chicken castle. At least some rocket carts are out. Leo Montero onto Plumes. Macluffy sending infantry and now Monaspa to the south. Kevin's kind of still defending everything. So I think the Monaspa might do more damage to Twiigz, but I guess they had the plan to rush with the human. So they will do it. TC is in danger. Hagbardur's camels aren't fighting. There's kind of no army, no pop at all on the field for Clemens, Japanese. And these are the DM elos, by the way. They're quite higher RM elo, but Clemens is in big trouble. Castle goes up at least. So we'll have some defense. For the last villager. This is the last villager. No! Clemens is villagerless in game number 1. Man domination. What's going on up north? Twiigz kind of stabilized a bit. Got his castle up. Won't matter too much, as there is gonna be a defeated player soon. Unfortunately for Team Iceland, Clemens is on 2 population, 1 samurai. 0 population, 1 population. Eventually, sometimes the unit comes out. He's not storing them in his structures. And when these falls, then klemens will be crossed off here. Strong start by Team Arabia. Only the castle left. Siege are taking an oddly long time to finish the defeat here, but there it goes! Player defeated. Man OP. Eagles try and take an engagement up top, but they see one of them is gone off the map. They call the GG, and Team Arabia takes game number 1. Human rush! G to the G in favor of the Arabians, winning their first match in the tournament. Getting a bit of a good feeling in before Silver League, perhaps. But let's see. They have more games to be played. Next map will be Coast to Mountain. So thereby the Arabians choosing the opponent's home maps, but something a bit more chill. I think that's a good pick for them. The Icelandics used the Koreans, they used Gujarat Pocket, and they used Japanese, so also relatively high civs. 1 George is used for the Arabians. They did use their Cumans already, and they did invest only a Maya though. So Coast to Mountain will probably Saracens and Persians should be the 2 guaranteed civilizations there. And then perhaps you see that lineup with the Teutons again. And maybe Italians for the water side for Iceland. As the Arabians, they have some options. I mean, you're up ahead. Maybe you use 2P or something. Arabia, isn't that a bit vague? Some kind of mixed team? Indeed. Some kind of mixed team. There's like International A, International B that are all over the world. Then there's an Arabian mixed team. Nova, for example, is from Iraq. Man is from Egypt. Leo Montero's somehow from I think, Argentina and got in there. Get added later, I think. And then there's also North and South America team. So it is a mixed team from countries that didn't have enough players to form a team on their own. Let's go for Coast to Mountain. For game 2, that's also why I'm giving them UN flags. And let's go. Lineup wise, we've got Hagbardur playing the Slavs on Coast to Mountain with the Persian pocket, not needing a house. And then we've got the Byzantines for the water side. And on the other hand, we've got Macluffy playing Saracens up top. That's kind of where I think they belong, even though we saw them in a different position earlier in the Switzerland match. Leo Montero Paca with the Georgian pocket. They're spending their Georgians on pocket for the 2nd time in a row. That's so wild. And Franks? Holy! I mean, the Saracens make sense, but this is a very wild matchup to use Franks as the water civ? And Georgians, Franks and Georgians? What's the symmetry there? Synergy there as well. Okay. I mean, I guess at least the Saracens make sense on the map. I think the lineup makes a lot more sense for Iceland here. As Ursiv up top, Elephant Civ in the middle, and good Water Civ in the south. They're also going for the water. Looks like the villager was sniped, however. And I said Elephant Civ, but it's more of a Savar Civ, I guess, if we ask Team Iceland, because they are going 8 stables. Savar Storming Fout Hussar! Slavs are starting Hussar. That's okay. We saw Slav Pocket starting Cavalier, starting Mars Cavalier. We saw Slav Pocket starting a little bit of Cavalier into full Boya against Lytis. Now we're seeing Slav Hussar. Haven't we seen it all this tournament? We saw Gojara Spearman today. We saw Skirmishers basically out of everyone today. It's a team game. There is gold units available, but these players do love their trash. Man is going for the market. Pretty early, Savar rush for klemens. No water at all for man. He's not interested in even contesting the water. Twiigz is getting some docks up. In the north though, Macluffy finding some damage with the camels against the relatively cav heavy start by Hagbardur. Did deny a castle here. 4 villagers lost for the Slav of the Icelandic captain. Romans on the field for Twiigz with the Byzantines, so there's some areas where it looks decent for Iceland here, I have to say. Why would anyone take Franks here? 500 IQ play for man. So it's too high for you to understand, Ola, or can you make sense of it? Because I'm apparently not 500 IQ, I can't. Nobody would expect it, that's for sure. Forward outposts by Macluffy. Okay, why not just make, you know, forward buildings? Castles, for example? Guess he wants to know what's going on. Monaspa and Mamelukes is a wild combination. But they have good military mass. Mamelukes obviously very strong, so taking out the both the boyas and the infantry here. I mean, Franks, are Franks ever a bad choice? They have the most OP unit in the game that nobody knows about. The throwing axemen, of course! Completely counter the Byzantine trash spam, you know? Byzantines are playing all in Halberdiers because they're cheaper, and then you counter that with elite throwing axemen. I mean, you know, I can see it. Also, I love axemen. Helps killed a lot of paladins here though, but the axemen are unbeaten. Elephants. Alright. Icelandic team learned a little bit. They are adding elephants, but unfortunately there's Mamelukes for Macluffy. Stand ground patrolling. Oh, stacking. Obviously it's allowed with Mamelukes. And there's some siege runners coming out for Hagbardur, so it could be dangerous, but Hagbardur is a bit late on them. As they're behind tons of siege rams. Ooh, no. Don't think the siege rams do anything here. The opponents are playing full melee unit. So the siege rams are just not only a waste, but also a huge delay on the all-important siege runners coming out here to challenge the Mamelukes. We do have an elephant trade of klemens though. On the top, acting against the trade. What did the Romans die to? Oh, they're just idle. 26 Romans defending the docks of Twiigz, I guess, as he's concentrating on his eco, I would suppose, because I don't think he's factoring the Halberdiers against the throwing axemen. Maybe man just wanted to play frags. I don't know. The synergy of the civs of Arabia seems non-existent to me. They all are using melee units. They have 2 ranged melee units. I guess the Mamelukes counter Halberdiers, so the Monaspa can counter Siege? Monaspa to snipe Siege, I suppose. There's a lot of own Siege by the Georgians, so the non-buffed SO of the team. Mamelukes wrecking the trebuchets of Hagbardur though. Hagbardur will kill the castle at least, so some success, but here come the Monaspa to also clear out the trebuchets. Hi Sekiro! Just on the bit chill last cast here. We had 2 really exciting sets earlier that were important for who makes top league playoffs. This is basically playing for Silver League seeding and a bit more relaxed cast. But more DM. Ranged melee units galore for Team Arabia. And only 6 elephants on the field for klemens. Twiigz theoretically has the water, but his Dromons are very reluctant to engage. Too much going on for a team not that accustomed to Deathmatch. But Iceland doesn't only have a national Bob team, they do also have a national DM team. Sekiro, you could have been in this team. Then the group would have been harder for us. Do you say it like that, Bob? Skeleton? Skeleton is something else than Bob, though. Jamaica hat eine Bob-Mannschaft. You would say Jamaica has a Bob team, no? Or is there a different word? Thanks, others. Still hoping to see you play in Germany, see one day. You're locking and then called Bob. I was hoping you helped me translate. Swarming the castles with units. I don't know why we're even fighting in the middle of the map, but I guess there's a lot more army for Arabia, so it doesn't really matter. Forward castle, very forward castle for Macluffy. Might be denied though. I mean, elephants are still elephants, even if there's Mamelukes. They do have splash damage as well, so they will take out the villagers. And the Romans are finally engaging, therefore challenging the trade here. Team Iceland also getting to start trade. One trade card in production isn't the most trade yet, but they stopped the forward castle. We killed this villager as well. So, stabilizing a little bit. They do have parts of the map. It's relatively secured. Some Mameluke raids up top. They do have the water as well. So, Iceland having a chance in this one. Mamelukes and Saracens are in full swing though. Lots of resources for Macluffy in the bank still. Interesting movement of the Monaspa to surround the elephants there. Are there more villagers coming? Yeah, there are more villagers coming. Macluffy really wants to focus this castle. Not much siege. Some siege onagers from the Slavs. And helps us all kind of pushing back here a little bit. Onagers for the Saracens are also shooting though. Traps are forward. Castle denied. Might be once more denied and that villager dies. Yes. Iceland keeps denying Arabia's forward castle. Good highlight moments for the Icelandic fans. As even the trebuchets get melted here. Forward castle for Man goes up though, and Man does have 11 trebuchets pushing together with a horde of X-Men. Man took a little break there. Romans of Byzantines not with the biggest range, so you kind of need that landing to do damage here. Doubt that's something Iceland can think much about though, as Twiigz is losing his base to the Genius Franks pick to go full throwing X-Men. I said it pretty much at the start, but that was my way to make sense of the Franks, and that's exactly how they are dominating. Elephants are doing well. I mean, Macluffy's castle was even denied. Persians kind of pushing back the Saracens. I mean, obviously, there was also partially Hagbardur with the Slavs, who is unfortunately now out of army and a little bit out of resources. Only 80 eco units for him. So, maybe can't hold that for too much longer. Also, forward castle coming now for Macluffy. But there's one more that just... Macluffy really just can't get his forward castles in. Trade going down to the Dromons a bit, so I guess there is a trade rate. Dromons can unfortunately not cut trees. I think there's a good reason for that though. Franks go to Civ. Man is showing us how good they can even be on Coastal Mountain. Calfrax made as a counter to the throwing X-Men, but we've got Paladin again. And the Franks are pushing a lot harder than the Saracens. And all the Mamelukes have gone down for Macluffy. Can Macluffy finally get a castle up this game? It's close, it's close. Only the GG core can stop him. Only the GG core can stop him. It won't stop him. Macluffy gets the forward castle up. Therefore, he completes the mission as man is faster and to Twiigz base and wrecking the trade. You might doubt it, but it did happen. And with that forward castle, Arabia gets the 2-0 done. GG. Second victory for Team Arabia, winning on their own home map that the opponent's team chose. We did have the Saracens, we did have the Persians, we did have the Franks dominating with throwing X-Men, and we had the Trojans. Second Trojans used their Slavs used, and we had at the bottom one of the Byzantines used. Iceland has the Trojans still, Magyars and Berbers still off the first row for the Arabians, and it looks like we are moving on to runestones. Kind of the most runestonesy civs used yet. Maybe see Teutons in Japanese with Georgians. Maybe another pocket. They've used all the pockets, so maybe Lithuanian pocket. And then simply Japanese and Georgians to try to get a point for Iceland. And on the other side, I'm expecting a Berber pocket, probably Magyar flank to rush, and then maybe a Khitan in order to play this aggressively for Arabia. There we go. I'm almost correct for the Icelandic team. Wild swift choices by the Arabs. Again, although I guess you can play it aggressive like that as well. Welcome to game 3, and we have Macluffy at the Magyars, as the Magyars up top will be facing Twiigz Japanese. On the other side, we do have Klemens with the Georgians against Man's Berbers, which is a really nice matchup to defend Georgians with initially, but then later on might get a bit hard against the rocket cards. Pockets are a Khmer pocket for Leo Montero Parker, I think his favorite civilization, and Hagbardur as a Teuton pocket, which is a relatively slow pocket. I mean, can be used, but is a bit slow off the bat. Klemens lost a villager, so did Twiigz, so both flanks not starting too hot for Iceland, which might be good. For the ice, I guess. But there's hot springs in Iceland, so I think they want to be hot. Runestonesy, nice word. Yeah. No, I figured how I did use it. Paladin rush for Macluffy, pretty aggressive swift for Team Arabia. Cavator rush as well, so chicken castles are in danger, but they're also not being made. Oh, we did hit the house, and now we're housed. No, now we're housed at 15. This is not looking pretty for Twiigz. Is it looking much better on the other side? At least the camels are no, at least the camels are wrecking the Georgians. Full stables, only one barracks, and the elephants come here as well. I think this is going to be a very quick and dirty 3-0 in favor of Team Arabia. Iceland, the big underdogs of the tournament, I guess they were that. And they didn't take up my offer of coaching after the play against us week 1. Turns out, might have been a mistake. Arabia gets the very aggressive Civ pool, gets the aggressive Civs out, gets the aggressive plays in, and gets a clean sweep against Iceland. Congratulations to Team Arabia. Unfortunately, Iceland did not manage to get the heroic victory in the group stage. But maybe in the Silver League,